Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Loves Manga. Today Mama has some wine. It's Saturday, my husband's home, we're all home, we're chilling, and I need a glass of wine, okay? So, I'm here for my weekly wrap up. I had originally thought that I was going to vlog throughout the week and then compile all the footage into this one video, and I sort of did that, but then when I sat down today I decided that I did not want to edit all of that together, and so I'm just gonna continue doing it like this. Every now and then I might do something different, maybe have like, I might do like a mukbang or like do my makeup or something like that when I'm talking about what I read. So I started off this past week with Happy Marriage by Maki and Joji. If you remember, last week I read the first volume and I absolutely loved it so freaking much. Unfortunately, these two volumes, volume 2 and volume 3, ruined the whole series for me. I have no interest in continuing on with this series. What I disliked so much about these two volumes is the fact that the main character, what is her name? Chiwa, they call her Chihuahua, which is actually kind of funny. Chiwa is constantly being taken advantage of and manipulated and made to feel like she's the problem, she's the one who's doing the wrong things, and these men are just taking advantage of her. She has this co-worker who she sees as a friend, and she starts confiding in him, and then he takes it upon himself to be like, oh well, your boyfriend can't treat you like I can treat you, and then tries to kiss her while they're at work. And she's just like, oh, okay. And she doesn't want him to do it, but she's so taken aback. She doesn't know what to do, because as women, we are typically taught and told that we need to be nice. You know, you don't want to offend someone, or you don't want to upset a man, so you tend to let them get away with stuff. Like, I can't be the only woman who has been told through society in a roundabout way that that's what you need to do. I've definitely had men approach me in a way that I was not comfortable with, but then I felt like I had to just grin and bear it because I didn't want to upset them, or I didn't want to come off as angry or rude, or listen. If you're a woman and you're watching this, you know. And if you're a man watching this, please don't take that as me saying that all men are like that. I'm just saying I don't like men who do that. The main love interest at one point sexually assaults her. He touches her sexually without asking permission or anything. He just assaults her, and then the phone rings, and that's what stops him. And he literally says, "Get out of here unless you want me to keep going." And she gets up to leave, and he's like, you look like you've just been assaulted because you did just assault her. Like, it was so ridiculous. And I went ahead and finished the volume, but I was like, wow, this is not, it just didn't redeem itself, because basically this dude is a dick. And instead of the main character pointing out how much of a jerk he is, she sits there and she's like, oh, I think I liked it. Oh, I'm so disappointed that he stopped. Moving on to volume 7 of Murciélago. Now here's the thing. If you know anything about this series, if you've been reading it, you know that Kuroko, the main character, is problematic, as they say these days. She is a person who has done very not good things, right? However, I have a soft spot for her, because as awful as she is, she has the backs of the people she cares about. She has the capacity to care for people. I do not feel like the author is painting Kuroko in a way that is supposed to make you feel like you should forget that she's a terrible person. No, there are other characters who offset her, and they all tell her that she's terrible. No one is trying to hide the fact that she does trash things. I love this series so freaking much. I really want to do a separate video about this series. I love the creative ways the mangaka comes up with killing people in this series. I know that sounds really strange to say, but I'm always shocked And this is a very shocking series, and yet it manages to surprise me every single episode or volume. But it's entertaining. It is definitely not for everyone. It is not something that I recommend to everyone. I've told friends before that I don't necessarily recommend this to anyone unless you have similar tastes to mine. If you are okay with things that in real life you wouldn't be okay with, then you're gonna really enjoy this. So I know that it's interesting that I had such a reaction to such a negative reaction to Happy Marriage and a positive reaction to this, and I think it's all about framing. This series is framed in a way that reminds you that the characters that are in this series that do bad things, they are bad characters. Although they do treat certain people well and they are good to certain people, they're still doing bad things. They're still a criminal, and you're not meant to necessarily want to be that person or be with that person. Whereas I feel like Happy Marriage, I can see people reading that, especially younger people, although I know it is meant for it's for a mature audience, so like 18 and up. I could see someone reading that and kind of thinking, okay, well, you know, it's okay. No, like, I could see someone reading Happy Marriage and glorifying that relationship in their head and thinking that it's okay. Whereas with Murcielago, I highly doubt anyone is glorifying the relationships that Kuroko has. And if you are, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say to you. So next I read volumes 2 and 3 of Puella Magi Madoka Magica. This series, I cried. It's a much darker take on the Magical Girl series. All right, next I read Imperfect Girl volumes 2 and 3. The story is by Nishiyoshin, and it is retold by Mitsuru Hattori. And I guess Mitsuru Hattori is the person who also drew the art. I guess you could call it a psychological mystery thriller. The main character in the story is a young college student. He's about 20 years old. He's walking home, minding his own business, and he happens to see a car accident. He sees 2 elementary school girls walking across the street. One of them gets hit by a vehicle, and the other girl that doesn't get hit, he sees something strange, because instead of her immediately going and freaking out and like going to her friend, she had been playing a video game as they were walking across the street, and she kept playing her video game. And then after she got to a point where she could save, then she ran to her friend and started crying. And he remembers seeing that and thinking it was really strange, right? He goes home, and then she ends up kidnapping him at knife point. And it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Can you imagine being a 20-plus-year-old person being kidnapped by I think she was a 4th grader, so what, 9 years? How old were people in 4th grade? I can't remember. 9? 10? Yeah, I think 9. I think 9 years old. I can't imagine being kidnapped by a 9-year-old, because please believe, if some 9-year-old kid came up to me and tried to hold me at knife point, I would just kick him in the face. I think at first he sort of goes willingly. Like, I don't think he understood what was going on, and he was more taken aback by the fact that this kid has a knife in the first place and she's accosting him with it. She ends up taking him back to her home and keeping him in the closet. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give a lot away, but this was a very interesting series. I did really enjoy reading this. All right, and last but not least, I have Servant X Service Volume 2. This is an omnibus, so this is the final volume. There are 4 volumes total, but they are combined into 2 omnibuses. omnibus versions. And this is such a cute, wholesome, adorable slice of life that revolves around office workers. I think there is an anime version of this. I want to watch it. I really enjoyed it. And that's it. That's my weekly wrap up. This was a good reading week, I think. Now, as for next week, I will be going out of town to visit family. I will be reading. I'm definitely taking my Kindle with me. And I might take one physical book. I'm not sure because I'm traveling very lightly. Oh, I guess also, just in case you don't follow my Skinny Girl Fat Hair channel, you probably are looking at me like, girl, what happened to your hair? If you're here watching me for manga, you probably don't care about my hair. But yeah, I did have locks. I recently cut them. I kept one to remember this set of locks by, and then I'm going to grow my hair out again in locks. I'm gonna be locked for life. I am not about that loose hair life. So yeah, I'm still gonna be locked. I'm just starting over from scratch. But anyway, if you wanna know more about that, feel free to go on Skinny Girl Fat Hair and check out the stuff that happens in my life, I guess. But anyway, I'm done now. I'm gonna finish sipping this wine and chill. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.